Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Summit 2 by G2A.com. We're the European division, and it's time now for a very big match. Cloud9 versus Empire. Cloud9 in good shape, should they put a few wins together here to move on to the next phase. They are currently sitting 5-2. As for Empire, they're 5-5. So should they lose this game, they are out of the running for the playoffs. They don't have a shot. If they win it, they'll be tied with Tinker. They have the head-to-head matchup advantage, and then they just have to hope that Cloud9, some of these other teams that are close behind them, start losing more games. But with that said, draft is underway, and let's go ahead and hop on in. We've got Cloud9 on the Radiant side right now. They won the coin toss. They elected for first pick, and Empire chose Dire. And with that said, the big team fight here is getting banned out here. We've seen a real resurgence of Tidehunter in particular lately, and he will be banned first phase along with your Enigma by C9. So with banning two of the big team fight specialists, Bone7 back in the saddle now. Seems that all is well. He's recovered for the most part from his kidney stones and hopefully will continue to be healthy. So with him back in the fold, they're banning out not the Centaur that we saw Mag play every game but one at Starladder, but instead the Bone7 Bat. They also ban out that Eternal Envy Terrorblade. I did have a chance to talk to him after they lost that deciding game 3 against EG in the loser bracket finals, and he was convinced that they had outdrafted EG, that EG got incredibly lucky with the rune spawn, and that basically that laning stage never should have happened. So, had full faith and credence in his Terrorblade, and I think wise by Empire to take Cloud9, I wouldn't say out of their comfort zone, but take away one of their best weapons from Eternal Envy and force them to do something a bit different here. As for Empire, they'll pick up that Wisp early on, something that solo runs to fantastic success. I would say after Funnick, probably the best Wisp player in CIS. Well, I guess Vangscore plays a pretty mean Wisp too, but one of the best for sure. He's been an impressive support player for them. They also get their Ogre. And now if you're Cloud9, you probably want to ban 2 super tech carries, because now you're looking at a carry with Bloodlust, with Overcharge, with the Tether move speed, and basically a beast. There's a Sven out there, there's a Phantom Assassin. They'll actually go a different direction. They've removed the Doom, and they ban the Gyro. So Gyro, yeah, it's a nice Wisp partner, but generally you ban this hero more if you want to have the 5-man advantage. And with a Witch Doctor Brew, we may see Cloud9 go for some early pushes. Another hero that's really been on rising in popularity lately is the Slark, something that Cloud9 did not have much success with in the past, but we've seen a lot of other teams run it extremely well. Alliance, we've seen Secret run it a handful of times for Kuroki. Navi's had some success with the hero. And the big team that's been really successful is the Power Rangers, with Ditya Ra crushing fools left, right, and center. Empire will ban the Slardar. A bit of a different direction. Amp damage really good against Wisp, very good for securing Roshan, and just annoying to play against in general. So, where does this leave us? It leaves us with Empire. Support's already most likely picked up. There's like that slight chance we see a Core Ogre, but I've not seen them do it. I have seen a few other teams, and Core Ogre, it's strong, but I think it is still situational. Not something you just auto-run every single game. As he doesn't provide you a ton of AoE control. He's a very high damage nuker, and buffs up your carry, but sometimes you just need that team fight or pushing potential. Something else that he doesn't really bring to the table. Empire, no real rush to pick up Wisp partners at this point. They'll have 2 picks to work on that, so looking at off-lane potential here. What's Yogi going to be playing? We've seen him play a lot of Void. They actually banned that. Centaur is out there. Pretty good against Brewmaster. He splits, you Stampede, and you run away. So I think Centaur's an option here. Clockwork, not bad against the Witch Doctor especially. He can do pretty well. What do they want to go for? There's also the Nature's Prophet. That's the other main option. You're running a Wisp already. That would give them a lot of mobility around the map. It helps deter Cloud9's group up and fight if you have the split push. So that's probably some of the main things to look at. They'll go Lycanthrope. This was the bane of Secret's existence at Starladder. EG just kept on spamming their Lycan and winning games. But I think if you're going to give up a Lycan, then Cloud9 have some of the best heroes in the business to deal with them. Brewmaster already. The Cyclone's great. The Blind is great. He has passive evasion, which encourages Lycan to build towards an MKB. Normally not your first choice as a Lycan if you can skip it. You'd prefer to. He's got good physical damage, and of course he's tanky, so he's not an easy takedown. But yeah, ideal fight for Cloud9. You cycle in the Lycan, you kill everyone else, and then you deal with the big bad wolf. Not to mention that cask for the Witch Doctor can be a real nuisance if it keeps on bouncing between the wolves and the hero, and Witch Doctor also an excellent choice against Wisp. Wisp is tethered, generally close to that tethered target, and that's where the cask can make sure it gets a few extra bounces. Quite annoying. They'll go Centaur and Cloud9 though, so it seems maybe they have picked up a change in style. This was one thing I was really interested to see. After Starladder Season 10, Cloud9 showed a lot more aggression, a lot more up-tempo drafts. They did run a decent amount of Eternal Envy Terrorblade, but normally with a stronger core backing them up, I would say. A lot more early game aggression, more pick-off potential. Heroes that didn't need as much farm and could give way to the Terrorblade, give them a lot of space instead of running like a greedier dual tri-core type draft. And it seems Cloud9 are going to go that direction here. Now, of course, Bone7 has played a decent amount of Centaur, but he's more known for his having a different style of play. Creep cutting is the Bat Rider, the early BOTs, running his Nature's Prophet and getting those triple null talisman blade mails, just blade mails, just the one blade mail, and constantly looking for split pusher on the map. So this is a slight change for Cloud9. Lots of stuns, also Stampede great against Lycan as well. Yeah, he's a little bit faster than you when he's in wolf form, but it still helps you to limit the damage. That's for sure. As for Empire, they go back into Scarth Mage. They get a much-needed instant silence versus the Brew. Good magic burst, the best way to take him down, as obviously physical, not so great against his evasion. Empire not very strong in the team fights, though. Very single target heavy, and this does put your Ogre Magi into a potential core role. Oh, baby. We're going to see that early Aghanim Scepter coming out. I need some more ding in my life. What's Cloud9 going to go for here? They've got the solid backbone of their draft. The Bone7 Centaur, the Fada Brew, which was sensational in Starladder and in tournaments before that. Their support Witch Doctor, probably for Pili Die. So they're most likely looking at the AUI 2000 hero here. Ideally, you'd like something that can provide you a little extra lockdown. They have gone for the Witch Doctor H Apparition before, but I'm not sure how good AA is going to be this game. Nice against the Tether heal if you can manage to get the Ice Blast off, but Empire are more of a spread the map style draft, not really a group up and push, which is where Ice Blast isn't the best. But that is one option for them. There's also a Visage out there. They're going to go for Elder Titan. And this is most likely a support Elder Titan, it looks like. So Cloud9 taking a page out of Big Daddy's book, if that's the case. And I should say, yeah, Secret ran a lot of support Elder Titan. The first team that I saw do it a lot was actually Invictus Gaming. Back when they were running that Ferrari 430 Ember Spirit every game. They would run a support Elder Titan for Faith. And you just get your Searing Chains off, and then he stomps, sleeps, and... Spirits, stomps to get the sleep. And then you just blow them up after that. So some very strong scouting potential here. And scouting is important versus this Lycan Wisp Ogre. Very quick lineup to take down the Roche. So I do like the Elder Titan pick to help address that, give you some visual confirmation if Empire are looking to sneak in. Also just de-pushes the waves nicely. And, well, in good news for Empire, they have a hero in the Lycan that will be building a lot of plus armor, most likely. We'll probably see the Vlads come out, the Assault Cuirass at some point. And that'll help to negate the loss of their base armor that comes from that Astral Spirit. Assuming it's a support Elder Titan, they'll be needing the Eternal Envy hero. And he's played pretty much everything under the sun lately. We've seen his Slark wasn't that successful, but the Morphling, the Naga. What else could our Lord and Savior Eternal Envy be looking at in this particular game? The Anti-Mage, generally we've seen that a bit less. Clinks is out there. Medusa's out there. Hasn't been particularly popular for Envy, but is an option. We could see the return of the Eternal Envy Doom. Oh no, sorry, that's actually banned. No Doom this game. There's also Invoker. EMP would be pretty powerful against this Empire draft. I'll go Necrophos. That's your tank counter. So they get a fairly durable hero that also can deal with the Dragon Knight's high base armor. Dragon Knight, by the way, I love this choice against the Elder Titan. Gives you the Dragon's Blood, which that plus armor will not be removed by the Astral Spirit Natural Order. So it ensures your by the Natural Order, period, I should say. So it'll make them a little bit more durable, plus with the plus 10 armor Lycan's likely to bring eventually from his Vlads, from his AC, stacking up. They shouldn't be too vulnerable to physical damage, but that's where Cloud9 have a nice spread. They've got the double-edged stop, the Necrophos ult, good magic damage there. Your Witch Doctor ward for the physical, Maledict for some extra bonus magic damage, and Brew, who offers a nice mixture of both. Empire's still looking a bit more split push centric, a bit more pick-off oriented. And they are going to run that off-lane Ogre, or at least a core Ogre. So I'm wondering how our lanes are going to shake up here. The one thing that I worry about for Empire is there's no real natural... I guess they can just run the off-lane Ogre. We could see the dual lane mid Wisp +1, and that's maybe what they do. Off-lane Ogre, Wisp Dragon Knight mid, do your stacks for the Dragon Knight. They can be farmed later when he gets his level 2 ultimate. And then run your Lycan Skyreth Mage in the safe lane. That is a possibility. We'll have a quick pause here. Since we're kind of running late, I'm going to slap the teams around to hopefully limit the damage as far as our schedule goes. But yeah, guys, thank you all very much for joining us. For those who haven't heard yet, we've got some big news, actually. Let me see if I can just bring it up here. Since we have a break, I may actually just show this on the stream. G2A is the title sponsor for the summit, and in collaboration with them, we're doing something new this time around. I know a lot of people said, I want to come watch the summit live at the event. You know, how do I buy tickets? That sort of thing. Unfortunately, we don't have the space to just sell tickets flat out, but in good news... Oh, no, that's not what I want. Oh, OBS, please. We are running a contest. Let's see, can I get this? Monitor capture. I am an OBS noob. Oh, that's not right. Skype, please. Oh, so we're running a contest called Win a Trip to the Summit. G2A.com/trip to the summit 2. And basically you have to like the G2A Facebook page, then like ours, and then just submit your reason why you think you should win. One lucky, well not lucky, but one winner, the person who we think has the best response, will get a paid trip here. We'll cover your flight, your hotel, we'll feed you. You get to hang out with the players, you get to experience the event live from the venue. Lots of cool stuff. I'll try and set that up so I can actually show you guys the page for those who are curious about it. But yeah, well, no time for that now. We're underway. Just something to consider if you've ever wanted to come to the summit, get to meet your favorite pros in a more relaxed environment instead of at a crowded live event where you're just one of hundreds of fans bombarding them. I highly recommend you check that out. Once again, G2A.com/trip to the summit 2. The first 2 is the word. The second is the number. But yeah, our bot spams it regularly in the chat. Or you can just check out our Facebook for more info about that. But we're underway now. We'll run through our drafts quickly here. And yeah, we do have Dota audio. It's just a little quiet for me. Let's turn that up. Okay. So on Team Empire, we're running your offline. Your offline. I was thinking Ogre is an oaf. Your offlane Ogre match being played by Yoki. Solo will be your Wisp or your Io. Resolution going mid is the Dragon Knight. Silent. That safe lane Lycan. He likes his Midas Lycan, by the way, more than most. Not sure if he's still doing that build, but he's got to have one of the highest Midas build rates on the hero out of anyone. Always want to fly. Rounds things out for Empire as the Skyreth Mage. Empire desperately need a win here. If they win this game, that officially knocks Tinker out of playoff contention, as Tinker with 4 losses in a row sit at 6-5, and they lost to Empire. So if it comes to a 2-way tie, well, actually it doesn't officially, but if it comes to a 2-way tie between those two teams, then they would be eliminated from playoff potential. And on the side of Cloud9, looking a lot better here. I believe City have 5-2. And just need 2 more wins to guarantee a playoff berth. You've got AUI 2000 on your Elder Titan support. Bone 7, the Centaur War Runner in the offlane. He's back in the saddle. As Fada goes mid as the Brew. Oh, gets the block off so the range creep is in front. Eternal Envy still lost in that abyss, guys. Somebody throw him a lifeline on the Necrophos. And that does leave Pylai Die playing the Witch Doctor using a classic cosmetic here. The common wooden fetish mask, but it's a goodie. As they'll go in mid lane on Fada. Just a little bit of chip damage. not the easiest lane to get a kill. Not early on. Your Wisp is just so squishy that Brew crit clap combo will bring down like half his health. And at the same time, looking at your off lanes here, Bone 7 will have a very difficult time. Yoki, a bit of a difficult time, but not to the same extent. That's where the magic damage of Scarlet, just nothing really surpasses that as far as zoning potential goes. Whereas the Lumbering Oaf with the 7 base armor should be fine overall. I'll continue to try and harass here in the mid lane, but Fada, so durable, even without a point in evasion yet. Very difficult to bring down. So overall, running the offlane Centaur, he'll get his levels here. Lycan not really the best at zoning the Centaur early. But if they bring a +1 in from the mid lane, like for example, if your Wisp comes in with a haster, they might be able to get a kill there. Mid lane going not so great for Brew as you would expect, but he's getting his levels, so that's still fine. AUI going for the early pulls. That's much needed on him. Overall, I'd say it's a fairly even start to the laning stage. Better farm a little bit on Empire, but Cloud9 still doing fine for their levels, and they've got a very potent mid game. Lots of pick-off potential, lots of stuns. Empire definitely won't have the easiest time taking head-on clashes, unless they're able to farm up big items. BKB will be huge against Cloud9. They're all their stuns, aside from the Necropho Assault, useless against it. You've got your Earth Splitter, sure, but not a very easy spell to land against the mobility of a Wisp, against a Lycan. Not something you should count on. But I do like this dual lane mid, and I'm curious to see, has he been stacking? Yeah, they broke down the trees. He's already gotten one double stack off. They're diving Yoki bottom lane. Finally die. Unable to get in range for much, and as soon as I look bottom, they go mid. Well, fire LD. They got the kill on Fada there on the Brewmaster, and this is important as they need those levels on their support Wisp, and running the dual lane mid, of course, will slow down your Dragonite a bit, so that's going to be still a fast level 6. There's a slow out from Yogi. He gets a little aggressive here. They're teleporting someone in, and Cloud9 don't have vision because the creep wave died, and they're just sitting under the tower taking shots from Always Wanna Fly. Yogi will charge in. I think there's too many heals here, but they're bringing in 4. Reinforcements coming through as Bone 7 will deny himself to the neutrals. He bought a branch before going down. I think just wanted the fountain trip. He may have to teleport back to this bottom lane. Pilot Eye about to run out of mana. The chase is on. Resolution looking for that initial stun. He gets it too. Breathe Fire coming through. The stomp of AUI too slow. So yeah, they lost their Centaur. He bought a branch, and I think he just sold it immediately after respawning. Just to make sure he didn't lose any unreliable gold. I think he respawned fast enough that he sold it within that short window. As Elgato will soar into the middle lane, delivering the treads. So, nice little start here for Empire, leading 3-0 in a must-win game. Now, even should they win this, Cloud9 they still get to play Compass Gaming at M5. Two teams that have not looked particularly strong, so if you're a Cloud9 fan, never fear. Even should they lose this, if they win those 2 games, then... And they've got one more game against Navi. Should they win 2 out of the next 3, they're still guaranteed to go to the playoffs at that point with the 7 wins. They would knock out Tinker as well as Empire. Empire just fighting to stay alive, not guaranteeing themselves anything, even with a win here. So Lycan is free farming. Silent so far, not going for the early Midas build that he favors, but maybe he goes back for it. He's completed the Bassi. With the Wisp on his team and the Dragonite, they could Rosh very early, though, and that would be an argument for just rushing the Vlads. You could even go Vlads, take Rosh, and then go back for a Midas if you want. Dragonite can help you tank, and they're going to go in mid lane. They've got no ultimate, though. They're going to have to really commit to this Fada kill. They brought in 3 heroes for it. They won't get it. And in good news for Cloud9, their supports are doing well for the levels. Level 3 on the Witch Doctor, level 3 on your Elder Titan. Staying even with this Wisp Ogre, or sorry, the Wisp Skyreth Mage. Despite running a tri-lane and Empire running 2 dual lanes. But that is before the stacks get cleared out. Let's see. Still just double stacks. They haven't had a chance to go back. Resolution will stun mid lane. Fada doesn't have the split yet. He's going to go for a quick TP out. Nice reactions under pressure. And it's just not enough to bring him down. Cloud9 did rotate through the middle lane. They brought in some reinforcements here. Bone 7 backing off to the woods. Almost as his Tranquil Boots now. He'll get the last creep kill there with return damage. As they will go top. And Wisp popping a haste rune. They're going to look for a little rotation Dota. Actually smoking. They're going to wrap around bottom lane. Let's see. Does Yoki have his level 6 yet? No, he's only 4. But this is where you want to strike. I like this game plan a lot from Empire. Sure, you have no relocate and Mystic Flare, but ganking Necrophos now is not that difficult. Once they get Stampede, once they get the Brew Split, and a Blink Dagger, then it becomes much, much harder. Unfortunately, though, there is a lane ward. That'll spot the Ogre. Doesn't spot the reinforcements, but it might give pause to Eternal Envy. At the same time, Cloud9 in the river. Looking for a backstab. Eternal Envy's out too far, though. There's your slow. The follow-up silence comes through, and Orb splash onto him. And Sama bites the dust. Great pick off there by Empire, and most importantly, they're getting pushed on creep momentum on the top lane. Pilot Eye will TP out, or rotate up, I should say, just to farm that. And they get their Vlads for silent. Could be a very early Roche sneak here attempted. With the Wisp, with a few bottle charges, I honestly think they can go now. Yeah, he's level 7. You could go Roche now, especially with the tether. No value points in Bloodlust, though. That's the one issue. Three heroes now camping mid for Cloud9. They don't have a Stampede yet, so they've got to somehow get a Stomp off to start and then charge in. Not the easiest chain of initiation, though. They are looking for it, maybe hoping for a dive to come mid. Let's see if Empire will oblige. For now, they're content with their dual lanes. I think Cloud9 can only they can't really go on this. They morph to counter-initiate. I mean, you could try with the Stomp, but a good Dragonite should be able to juke that. Unless he, like, walks up the hill and into a clap. If he gets clapped, then he's in trouble. No clap forthcoming, though. And it's Solo who moves up the ramp instead. He heads to the southern ramp. Drops down an Observer Ward. Cloud9 continuing to defend Fada's Brew. And now they're going to try to poke their head up. But Resolution scatters to the north. The Stomp is off the mark. A huge amount of wasted time. Although, as I say that, at the same time Empire were committing a lot. But now Yoki's going to rumble through. He's looking for a little bruising in the woods. He even spots out those Tranquil Boots. He's going to stun him and deny the boots. Oh. No, just stole him. Even better. Yoki with the big plays. Bone 7 is a very sad 7 now. I thought he would kill the boots, but he just took them away. Now he can taunt him. And at the same time, they'll dive Pilot Eye. Empire. Oh my goodness. That is a disaster for Bone 7. What a horrible mess. What is it? 800 gold? No, 1,000 gold. Sorry. That he loses from that. No Tranquils. Ogre, a pair of boots for each head. Says they will go in mid, but there's a Brew Split ready. Yeah, they passed them off to the Wisp. Of course, those don't work. Still, just to taunt him, why not? I don't even have feet, but I still have boots. What do you got, Centaur? You ain't got squat. Here we go. Rotation in from Yoki. He's got a stun ready to start. They've got a silence to follow. And they're going to engage with a Dragon Tail. I still don't know if they get this kill. Breathe Fire, brings Fada low. He's going to split now. Didn't clap first, though. They need a Stomp to connect. If this connects, there's a lot of trouble lurking for Empire. If not, not the easiest kill. Solo still keeping out of range for the most part. But a Witch Doctor Ward comes through. And Resolution gets held in position. Great combination of ultimates there from Cloud9. They strike back with a vengeance. They get a kill there on the Dragonite. The Wisp also falling. It's an 1,100 gold swing. In the midst of that, though, the tower top did go down. So now Lycan makes his way into the Roche pit. They know there's no Brew Split. Your Centaur has bought another pair of boots. Still, I think at this point well, no, I guess you need the Tranquils just to jungle. So that sets him back 1,000 gold on the path to the Blink Dagger. He would have half of it after that fight. Sad 7, man. Rough game for him. No, he's got his fresh pair of Tranquils now if he wants to buy them. He might be thinking about just skipping them and going straight for the Blake. Not sure though. Really, no, he'll buy the Tranquils. It really does slow down your farm if you skip it. And while they take the Roche, Cloud9 just TP'ing him mid. It wouldn't have mattered if they knew about the Roche spawn though. There's just no way you can contest into that pit. No Witch Doctor ult, no Brew Split, no Centaur Stampede online. Tough times at Cloud9 high. We're going to see Eternal Envy going for the same build, almost the same build as what Kuroki went for it, Starladder, where he just rushed that. I think it's the same build, where he rushed the Rod of Atos. It could be a Bloodstone or a Heart Rush. I mean, I don't think you rush the Heart if you go that route. You just get the Vit Booster and build something else and then later complete the Heart, but... so, not a Heart Rush, but it could be a casual Vit Booster. I think it is going to be the Rod of Atos, though. It's a big investment. If you just want HP, you can also work towards other items, such as a point booster towards the eggs. But Rod of Atos this game, I mean, it's not really the best. These heroes are so damn fast. Ogre Bloodlust, Tether move speed, relocate. Having a ranged strength tank in the Dragonite. And you've got Lycan, of course, the big bad wolf. So they'll take down the tier 1 bottom lane. Cloud9, the map feeling a bit restricted, now trailing by 5k gold, even on experience, but they're Radiant, and they're up against the Dire Lycan, who's been free farming. Now 83 CS, and they get aggressive here. They'll walk towards the middle lane. Still, they have a Brew Split, and they have a Blink Dagger. AUI 2000 goes in. He gets off the split immediately. Always want to fly. Can they relocate him out to safety? There's no level 6 on solo. Stomp will come through. Actually almost helping Always Want to Fly stay alive a bit longer. But finally fall silent. Also getting focused by your Death Ward. Still can go in. Has his Aegis for round 2. They'll Cyclone up the enemy Dragonite. But that Witch Doctor will end. There's a multicast. Yoki dropping low. A fantastic team fight from C9. With all these heals, nobody drops quickly. Now another Stomp. AUI 2000. Single-handedly keeping Cloud9 in these fights and perhaps in this game. Empire, despite the Aegis advantage, they've lost the Aegis. They've lost 2. And they're now on the run, underestimating the Brew, the AoE combination of your Elder Titan. They even bought back, I believe, on the Scarlet Mage to rejoin this, or maybe he just respawned that fast. No, I guess he just respawned, but yeah, he'll come back into the fray, and he'll get 1 kill on the Necrophos, then throws out the Mystic Flare. Still in danger. One more double edge should be enough to kill him off. They get the kill. Bone 7 connected. At the same time, AUI 2000 dies in the Elder Titan. And now, cue the Benny Hill music as Empire chase Cloud9 north. Still in the end, a nice trade there for Cloud9. I mean, one thing that's not reflected here is the fact that they lost the Aegis. Doesn't cost you gold or experience, but costs you a lot of momentum. So they come out on top, 800 gold, even on XP, but more importantly, it's an Aegis down. We'll see Bone 7 deny himself to neutrals. Oh, so he bought the Tranquil components and then sold them back. I guess he decided not to complete them in the end. They definitely saw him buy them on the courier. Fada leaps in with the blink, looking for silent. Can't get in range yet. In good news for Empire, though, Eternal Envy is not really farming that well. Like, you've got a really strong team fight from Cloud9, and they're down still a lot of gold, and now it increases as that tower dropped. 7,500 gold, 1,000 experience. The experience lead no longer in their court. They still were able to fight from that far down, but that does change at some point this game. At some point this game, your Dragon Knight gets a BKB, Resolution. I'm actually not sure what she bought first. Shadow Amulet and Ogre Club. I'm guessing he bought the Ogre Club first and now is going back for the Shadow Amulet. Because generally if you buy the Shadow Amulet, it's most of the Shadow Blade. It's pretty awkward to say, okay, I'm going to buy a full 3,900 gold item and go back for a BKB. Whereas if you buy the Ogre Club, it's still 3,000 to go to complete that next item, which is the cost of the Shadow Blade. So I'm guessing he's going Shadow Blade here first, but yeah, there's your Claymore complete. So now they relocate with Dragon Knight setting up ganks around the map. It's going to force Cloud9 to play together. They have Stampede, but that really doesn't help you against Dragon Knight Shadow Blade initiations because he just stuns you and then you just, if they're ready, you just die from like the Mystic Flare relocate or any sort of +1 or 2. Shadow Blade online. They're now going to wrap around onto Eternal Envy. He doesn't get stunned. Dragon Tail to start this Resolution will blink, will kind of run away as the rest of C9 tried to run in, and again Pylai die with the Great Death Ward doing massive damage to the entirety of Empire. Will finally be zoned out by a Mystic Flare, but it's already a bit too late. Now they multi-guess Bone 7. They'll manage to finish off the Centaur. Resolution just casually skates through. They have no detection for, but the Spirit Clap combo will corner and corral him as he falls. Always Want to Fly, and Yoki also doogied out AUI into the trees. He has no mana for a TP. Soul Ring cooling down in 1 second. Do they have another stun? Yoki without one. AUI 2000 will retreat. Fada silenced as he tries to go in for a killing clap. They'll lose 4. All for the cost of a Dragon Knight. That was with the Brew Split. That was with a Stampede. And it was with a Witch Doctor ult. The key there, Eternal Envy died right away. A 1,600 gold swing for Empire. an 8,000 gold lead, a 5,000 experience lead. Eternal Envy and company are crumbling here as they get deep towards the end of the lane stage and start to wade into the mid game against Empire. And now they're going to make a move again. They've got an Observer Ward down in the Radiant Jungle. Yoki has Solo by his side. Good map control here from Empire. And I think when you're ahead, the Shadowblade Dragonite is very potent. I'm not a big fan of it when you're playing from behind because it's just they tend to 5-man. They tend to be forcing the fights on you, and you need the BKB to engage. But when you're up like this, you can spread the map, push out the lanes with the Lycan, and the Shadowblade can set up a lot of kills around the map. If they get a multicast or a Mystic Flare off when the Shadowblade stun is used, that's pretty much a guaranteed kill. Can anyone really live through that combo? Maybe the Brewmaster. He's sitting on 1200 health, but even then it's not that easy. Silent now ambling towards the top lane where Fada is doing his best to slow this game. Now pushed out the lane, and that's a completed Necro 3. Yep, that's a very fat Lycan. Mana Burn will be good this game. You got up against a Centaur that has no sort of plus mana at all, and one Mana Burn means he won't be able to use a spell. Always want to fight looking for the Mystic Flare. He's going to use it now. Big solo kill from him. Nice patience. Now we'll delay your Bone 7 Blink. Just sniped from the high ground. And this is what happens when you're pushing all the lanes. Things just open up for the enemy team. That's a 600 gold swing just from that single kill. 750 experience turn. But more importantly, without a Centaur Blink, how are you going to kill this Lycan? You can't really blink in and brew split on him. Unless you have a cask bouncing. Maybe with the Necrophos ult. Perhaps you can get the kill then. You have to invest a lot. And while you're doing that, the Dragonite Wisp can be off on the other side of the map, pushing that lane in. They will try for a pick off here. There's no Aegis right now in Silent, and this would be a great time to find that fight. He can transform if he does it very soon. He's going to begin now. The cast goes through. Witch Doctor ult. It might be enough with this. No, that's not going to cut it. Even with the Maledict, Silent will just happily scurry away, and he thinks about going back in, perhaps. Tower's fine. Top, not fine bottom, where Resolution and Solo combined to take that down. That was a decent amount invested as well. Stampede was used to initiate there. They've used their Witch Doctor ult, and we may see just Empire group up and fight. At the same time, Cloud9 still have their Brew split. Let's see if they engage. Resolution in front. Sentry wards are ready for Pile Eye. The smoke was revealed. Now he's going to back off. And although they drop a sentry, it's too late. Great reactions from him. Silent, blinking away. Fada wrapping around. Do they really want to commit on this Dragon Knight in an old form? I'm not sure about that. Fada's going to Brew split, but he's so far behind enemy lines. They're relocating onto this. I just don't know if this is going to work out. The Wisp thrown up in the air, but still gets off the tether. Kept alive for now as Resolution continues to walk away. That's a Brew split for absolutely nothing. A big commitment from Cloud9. Not reaping rewards, as your Wisp will relocate in the end back towards the base. Everybody survives. They don't even take the tower. Now Cloud9 have to back. And if you're Empire, you just go for a tier 2 mid. Or maybe you go Roshan, which actually is about to respawn. Not sure if they've scouted this recently. Guaranteed objective should be forthcoming for them. Dire side all retreat off of top lane. So Eternal Envy gets a free tower. I'm a little surprised they didn't leave at least one hero there. Knowing that Brew split is down, you have to know Cloud9 are going to back. They would just be suicidal. Oh, they'd have to be a team of PGGs to stick around there. But it's a tier 1 in the end for Roshan. Empire will walk into the pit. Cloud9 really not in position to contest. Don't have the abilities to do it. Don't have the farm to do it. And this will put Silent well on his way to that next item, which looks to be a BKB. Picks up his Ogre Club. Ogre Magi now camping out on the Aghanim Scepter. Let's see. Level 2 multicast. Yep, about to get it. Let the fun begin. Who wants to gamble? In the meantime, Resolution's going to Shadowblade in, but now he knows there's a sentry because the creep started hitting him. Still, it's keeping Cloud9 back. They're trying to split push for now, but mostly because they knew Empire were likely going Roche there. Now it becomes more dangerous. Eternal Envy will buy the blink. copying the build we saw from Kuroki last game, although Kuroki went Blink first, and he's going back for it after that Rod of Atos. Thought it will pin out Eternal Envy top, but all Cloud9 could do right now is just try and stall. They will manage to have their brew split ready since Empire chose to go Roche first instead of pushing mid first. It was definitely the safer play, but it perhaps means Cloud9 could take a good team fight. They have the level 2 stomp or splitter ready. Empire searching for pickoffs here. There's a Sentry Ward in position. They could potentially get the jump on Resolution, but then what? There's a Wisp behind him. They're going to tether in on Resolution. They'd ideally like to jump the Wisp. Well, that's not going to happen. And if you're Cloud9, you don't trade towers. You can try. Maybe you get a tier 2, but you just don't kill towers with the speed that they do. Stomp comes through mid lane, Cast continuing to bounce. The Necrophos just chilling in the jungle while top lane Fada pushes in. Empire will remove a tower from the map now. That's only one tier 2 left standing after C9. And normally C9 are fine in this situation because they'll be running a Terror Blade, a Naga Siren, a Morphlane, maybe the Anti-Mage for Eternal Envy, his Clinks, some sort of carry, potentially a Bone 7 Prophet as well. They could just trade buildings, but they don't have that option, really. Necrophos, a good pushing hero, but not a good demolition hero. Does not deal a lot of structural damage. So they'll try and slow this game down. But I think if you're Empire, you just go for the top lane. Push that tier 2. For now they smoke, and they're going to find Bone 7. Multicast. That's a 2-timer. Didn't even need the second. Actually, I guess he did use both, but only got the one multicast. So 1 regular, 3 stuns total. More than enough with the Mystic Flare follow-up. That's 1 quick Ogre. And he just trots back out. Centaur Blink is up. Now he goes back for the Tranquil Boots. Still, that 1,000 gold deficit from Bone 7 continues to punish him here in the mid-game. As Solo did happily claim his boots earlier. He's kept this prize on his mantelpiece ever since.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
The thing is, Cloud9's strength is really their team fight. I mean, that's pretty obvious looking at their draft. Witch Doctor ult, big AoE heal from the Necrophos, a tanky, 4 tanky heroes, including that support Elder Titan. A lot of AoE damage. But the problem is that Empire is just so good at getting pickoffs. And they're going to find Eternal Envy. Now, Mystic Flare will just solo kill him. Always want to fly. EE just stands there and takes it. He tried to TP out in front of a Skywrath Mage. Might have been dead anyway, but you're just signing your own death warrant to go for that. Wasn't even that close. Well, free time for Empire to push. C9. By no means out of it, even with a loss here. That's the good news for them. Is unlike Empire, they have margin for error. This is a must-win for Empire. Just have a shot. With a win here, if it comes to a 2-way tie, it'll be Tinker who's eliminated. They lost the head-to-head versus Empire. But that's assuming that Cloud9 continue to rack up losses. And they've got some opponents who have struggled more in the group stage still on their docket. M5, KPG. Teams that are capable of the upset, especially Compass Gaming, but certainly not guaranteed. The last outer tower falls. Empire now leading by 14,000 gold, 10,000 experience. Map control goes their way. I think both teams very strong late game. Where I do worry a bit for C9 is their lack of great lockdown for a Lycan probe. Brewmaster, great at controlling him in team fights, not that great at running him down when he's off split pushing, when he gets a BKB. Necrolite is, or Necrophos is good lockdown for him. Witch Doctor not so great against him. Elder Titan not very mobile against him. And Centaur, once the Stampede wears off, can't really do much. I don't think they have the tools to deal with a Lycan this big. And it seems Empire feel the same way. They might even push in now. They're leaving Silent mid. C9 have to assume that 4 heroes are behind him. But now those 4 heroes are moving. Resolution now bloodlusted as he rambles on towards Eternal Envy. Still Shadowblade. They had a sentry, but he's going to have to blink and TP out immediately. They get off that initial stun? Nope, not in range. At the same time that they're pushing through the Dire jungle, Silent is solo breaking base. He's going to BKB and transform. Well, that's a 10-second BKB down. I think the Aegis was just reclaimed. Yeah, so he didn't actually lose it, but kind of unfortunate timing for Empire. And I guess with this, they wait for Roshan number 3. Still, no real pressure on Empire. Lots of room to grow on. I've talked a lot about Lycan, but obviously this is going to be a Superman Dragonite as well. Healed up by the Tether, Bloodlusted, Cleaving, getting close to his level 3 ult, and has the Howl damage to boot. So there's not too much of a hurry, and they almost get eyes on Eternal Envy. He blinks into the tree line. No teleport scroll cooldown for 3 seconds, but he's safely through the tree line. They'll need someone to break it. I don't know if anyone will. Solo. Could go for relocate top, but it would just be guessing. It's Eternal Envy likely blinking out here soon. No, they're going to go bottom instead onto Pylai Diet. There's your TP. No stuns. He'll make his way out. Well, not the ideal partner for that kind of gank. And Cloud9 just... I feel a lot of it just goes back to losing those Tranquil Boots. Early on for Bone 7. His blink was so slow, and without that, they couldn't execute their draft, which was get your blink on the Brew and the Centaur and just start fighting a lot. Before Lycan gets strong, before Dragonite does, before they have an Aegis on their side. Had Bone 7 not lost his Tranquil Boots to the enemy offlaner Yoki, this could have been a different game. They still have decent high ground defense, and I think that is where Empire need to be careful. You group up and push in against an Earth Splitter, the Stomps, the double Stomps, I should say. Echo Stomp as well as Hoof Stomp against a Brute. That could come back to haunt you. Eternal Envy plays Keep Away. Always Want to Fly plays Hunt. Hunt the Rat. There was a blink here in the tree line. Still he's lurking. At the same time, Silent is hunting. He pops his Necro 3, goes right onto AUI 2000. He's going to dive him straight back to the base. Look at the crunch damage there. Jeez, he melted. Silent with a nice Elder Titan snack. Now, Eternal Envy gets caught out. Mystic Flare's at the ready. This time, though, he'll keep on walking instead of TPing out under it. And he should be able to make his way out, but, well, barely at that. When the enemy Scarth is just strutting around, threatening solo kills on your core Necrolite, you're in trouble. And he's still down 3k gold, which is not much. They've officially been doubled up now, though, by that Lycan. And this is without Silent going for his customary Midas build. Bone 7 will defend the high ground while Empire just continue to starve out Cloud9. Again, this kind of draft for Cloud9 is just not the type of draft that's well... they're good at defending high ground, but it's like, what are they really going to be able to farm for? Their late game is good on paper, but they're not the kind of draft that wants to be like 20k gold down and look to come back. It's not like they're running a Spectre. Necrolite a hero that if he falls behind early, struggles to stay relevant later on. If he's losing that arms race where heroes are too tanky, he doesn't have his Aghanim Scepter out, and he can't chew immediately through all the bonus HP of Empire, then it's not a particularly relevant hero. Not to mention that Empire are gaining burst damage. And they're looking for an Eternal Envy kill top lane. Concussive Shock will come in, he'll blink out. And now the Force Staff through, but no real follow-up for that. Still, if this was Terrorblade... Actually, they let the tower be killed off by the Radiant. Okay. Well, there's a freebie. Eternal Envy, find your way to take towers, even when he's a one-position Necrolite who's 1 in 4. What a player. Still, there's Roche. And this time, it's Aegis Cheese. Silent will claim it. Assault Cuirass completed in 300 gold, I believe it is. Yeah. Right about. So they'll have an Assault Cuirass. They'll have the Maelstrom. Actually, the Mjolnir nearly done on the Dragonite. He's already got his Hyperstone. He needs a Mithril Hammer and the recipe for each. Damn close. I think they might just want to wait to farm that. It would be like another 1,000 gold or so. And then you can go high ground with this Aegis, with Mjolnir, the fresh AC, maybe your level 3 Dragon form as Resolution now hits level 15, an Aghanim Scepter Blink Dagger on the Ogre Magi. Basically, all the tools to just crest while this wave's at its peak. Take down Cloud9. Keep yourselves in the playoff hunt in the Summit too. Fada does have some gold, sitting on 4,600. They're going to relocate top lane. Oh, Eternal Envy. Say hello to my Ogre. Say goodbye to Eternal Envy. At the same time, bottom lane, always want to fly. Goes in with the Mystic Flare. Fada able to TP out, though barely. Again, just a sign of how far ahead Empire are. That always want to fly as solo threatening pickoffs on cores. As a Skyreth Mage just walking around by himself. That's the level 3 ultimate. I think he gets that kill too. But the damage just not quite sufficient. Maelstrom online. Mjolnir recipe coming in about 600 gold. Ogre threatening to deny the Tranquil Boots. And I did miss AUI 2000 going down mid. Just a solo pick off for Silent. Now has the level 3 ultimate. And he's going to break the base here with the Necro 3, or at least threaten to. Cask will really slow this down a lot. Blinking in was Bone 7. Unable to do much, though, as they will now bring Fada in through the rear onto Solo. But then Silent's there to usher him away. And he just walks back. Even the Wisp can't be easily killed. What do we got here? Assault Cuirass is coming for Fada. I do like this. I think it's just, you're not in a position where the Ags of the Brew is going to help you that much. Lycan is so far ahead at this point. If you go for Ags, he'll have his MKB, and then he'll just kill you in Brew Split. If he wants to fight you. Or he'll just, build something like an Abyssal Blade and just kill off your teammates instead. And Eternal Envy's out too far. He's waddling up to the creep wave. As soon as he shows himself at this next wave, they probably backstab him. He managed to slip by Empire. Maybe he's going to be okay in the end. Barely. If it was daytime, that doesn't work. But Eternal Envy, finding a way to just stall this game as long as possible. Now a 20k gold deficit. Mjolnir's inbound. Completed, in fact, in resolution. And he's got the level 3 ult. This was the timing for Empire. Get all the lanes in. I don't think you really need to worry about bottom. There's a tier 1 there, but you want to just end this game right about now. Throw your Mjolnir on either the Lycan or the Dragon Knight. Go high ground with the Elder Dragon form and just go ham on these buildings. Buyback status for the Radiant. They are almost certainly going to have to blow through. They'll jump in on resolution to start. Can they keep them alive long enough to get off that cheese? No, they can't. All right, well, if you get a clean pickoff like that, it goes much better. As Silent tries to fight his way through the entirety of Cloud9. He charged into that amazing ultimate combination from Pylai die as well as AUI 2000. Now Silent will come back to life. Will die again. Empire, well, perhaps he'll die again. He's dropping low here. He manages to kill off the Elder Titan. Finally will fall. It's 4 dead. Make it 5 counting the Aegis. What a beatdown in the Radiant base. Buybacks were used there. The Necrolite bought back. The Wisp also bought back. So it was a full team wipe. Oh, so we got a great fight recap, Volvo. Yes, it was a 1-0, guys. That was a 1-0. Don't let yourselves be fooled. Trust in the team fight recap. But yeah, that was 5 deaths. A buyback on the Wisp, which accomplished nothing. An Aegis lost. A cheese was not popped. Resolution never got it off, so that's the one piece of good news. And Cloud9 didn't even glyph. This is the power of their draft. And I think if you're Empire, you just have to approach it more carefully. Don't need to put Dragon Knight and the Lycan up on the high ground. Don't need to engage with the Aegis after your whole team's died. Just back off. You've lost a few. Reset. Go for it again with a better split. Maybe the Lycan off pushing one lane, while the Dragon Knight and 2 or 3 are pushing another. But Cloud9, give them credit, executed a great high ground defense. The stomp of AUI 2000 to set it up. The follow-up Witch Doctor ultimate. Everybody else in the front lines, including Bone 7 with that initial blink stomp, just ensuring that the Witch Doctor was allowed to dish out his damage unchecked. And with that Assault Cuirass and Fada plus this Elder Titan maxed out natural order, it's pretty good. They find a jump in and always want to fly. The stomp's there. Double multicast could be attempted. Yoki only getting the 1. He may drop here as well to the Necrophos ult. He will, and that's Eternal Envy with his Aghanim Scepter. I think he even had it in the last fight, but he definitely has it now. That puts your Ogre on the sideline for 80 seconds. Cloud9, don't call it a comeback yet, but they've just gained 10,000 gold to pull this game back towards equilibrium. About 2,000 on this fight. I think 7 or 8,000 the last. Experience almost dead even. That rubber band is very taut right now, and it just snapped hard against Empire. Cloud9 with a win here need only 1 more win to guarantee themselves a playoff berth. At which point I think we would have our 4 teams set, assuming Secret. Oh yeah, Secret's got 7 wins now. It would then be Secret, Cloud9, Power Rangers, and Na'Vi moving on to the playoffs, and they would just be jostling for seeding over these next few days. I think we're pretty much out of this one now, it feels. Even if Cloud9 don't win this, I'd be pretty surprised if they don't win 2 of their next 3. Still, Empire are running the dire side Lycan. They've got a really good split push lineup. Their pickup potential is still decent. They just have to be careful not to cluster up. That was like the ultimate team fight from Cloud9. Everything connecting. Full duration Witch Doctor. They killed the Dragon Knight before he could BKB or cheese. There was no relocate out from the Wisp. Like, can't ask for a better fight if you're Cloud9, or a worse one if you're Empire. And now having a support Elder Titan and a Witch Doctor really begins to pay off. They gave Pilot more farm priority this game. Something I've noticed Cloud9 has been working on. He used to be like PPD, just like every single game, 7, 8, 9 position support. Basically getting not even table scraps. But I've noticed that lately they've done a bit of a better job at allowing him to find some farm. You see 6 on 64 CS even with the Elder Titan of AUI 2000. Elder Titan also uses farm reasonably well, but the truth is that the Witch Doctor Ags is a game changer, and nothing that an Elder Titan can build as one big item is necessarily a game changer. His Ags upgrade can be good, a Hexes can be very nice, Shivas can be nice, but these items are still situationally strong. You're up against 2 BKBs in the cores of Empire, so a Hex is hit or miss. The Aghanim Scepter Disarm is really strong, but you can't count on hitting that thing every time. So I like Cloud9's evolution here, where they're not afraid to put Bone 7 on more of a tempo controller, like the mag-type heroes. Sure, they ran on Bat, but even then he'd play like more of a rat-style Bat with the boots of travel, constant backstabbing and creep waves. And they're also not afraid to switch up their farm priority a bit. It's nice to see Cloud9. And they're nothing if they're not a very savvy and efficiency-oriented team. Just recognizing that this seems to be a more effective style and making the necessary adjustments. To be fair, that last team fight certainly didn't hurt. 3-3-9 on the Witch Doctor. A lot of assists from that. So if you're Empire now, what do? You've got an MKB coming on silent. This will address the Brewmaster solution. You can still split push pretty well. You just have to be careful about getting multiple heroes caught out by an Elder Titan Stomp. As long as they can defensively relocate out a hero that's caught by the Centaur Stomp, then that hero really shouldn't die. I don't see Cloud9 getting onto their super backline. Like if a Wisp is up here, and you've got one hero down here pushing, you should be able to relocate him out, but yeah, it's just more about poor position and good opportunism from Cloud9. 38 minutes in, this 20,000 gold lead is now plummeted to a 7,500 gold lead. Experience basically even. Items continue to come out. Pilot going for that Shadow Blade next. There's a Necro 3 on the enemy team. And of course, for anyone who doesn't know, you can Death Ward and then Shadow Blade, but they'll jump in on Eternal Envy. Multicast number 1. Give them a few more nukes, and that's a takedown. Although they kill Eternal Envy, what do they do then? What's the next plan here for Empire? Roshan's online. They could walk towards this. In fact, Silent is streaming there. They want to try and take this Aegis cheese. It would be a secondary cheese. Maybe you give one to the Wisp here for that tether heal, which of course is limited by the Wisp's HP pool, and unlikely we'll see a Wisp super low who gets off like a close to full cheese, but still a value pickup to help keep a hero alive. And Silent will go to work on Roshan. With this going down, he'll pretty much have his MKB. I don't see any reason not to buy it here. You want it versus the Brewmaster Drunken Haze against any potential Heaven's Halberds that could be built. And the passive evasion of the Brew. 4,100 gold. Very, very close. Maybe he wants to save for buyback first. So in the end, they've got another cheese. One's on solo. So you will have the tether cheese in play. Also the regen rune tether. Although I think that, yeah, that's ending fairly soon. About 15 seconds left to go. So we'll get to see both in a team fight. Look for always want to fly to make some big plays now. He's got the Rod of Atos, turning AUI's favorite weapon against him. No MKB yet. Still saving for buyback. I'm not sure about this. I really feel like Empire just should be looking to win a convincing fight to take the game. They're not really in a position where they can just rat C9 yet. They have a potentially strong rat or split push styled lineup, but they just don't have like the creep equilibrium to do it. There's no tier 3s down, there's no exposed racks, nobody else is really good at it. Let's see how they engage onto the high ground here. They're going to Bloodlust. They're leaving their Dragon Knight of Resolution quite far back. Don't want him caught out. It's Silent in front. They'll get stomped to start. C9 could go in for a follow-up double edge if they want to do so. Killing off the Necrobook now. Empire not doing too much damage. Your tier 3 bottom just hardly even dented. Yeah, 500, but that was without glyph. But this is Empire's just wary. They know how strong Cloud9's 5-man defense is. We saw that last push, and that was when they had a 20k gold lead. Now, it's a 10k gold lead, but it's also a much smaller relative lead. Leading by 10k gold when you're up 20k, when you've got 20k total is a lot different from leading 10k gold when you've got, or having a 10k gold lead when you've got like 100k total. We're not quite there yet. We're at, what is it, 68 to 58. Still, it's only like a 10-15% gold lead. I guess it's closer to 15. Go in the start. Stun number 1 on AUI. Mystic Flare follow-up. Where is that Rod of Atos? What didn't use it? Might have needed the slow to get the kill. They're going to commit hard onto Eternal Envy. Used his ultimate. Won't be enough. Now the Witch Doctor comes through, killing off one. Looking for a secondary kill. The splash almost enough to finish off Always Want to Fly as he gets hunted out by the Spirit. I think he'll survive. Resolution out. BK beat him retreating. Nearly killed off by the Spirit. Another great defense. They'll set up on Resolution. Still has Cheese ready to rock and roll. Has his ultimate online. There's still a brew split, though. That was just the Pylite I ult. Resolution, no BKB. He popped his Cheese very early. Didn't really get much value out of it. And now we'll end up going down to right clicks from the Brewmaster. Cloud9 again hold the high ground. Not only that, but they chew through a lot. The Aegis has been not been used, but still they've lost the Cheese. They've lost their Dragon Knight. The Wisp went down. Aegis gone in two minutes. They might have one more push left with this. They gotta shut down this Witch Doctor. Pylite Dai is just doing too much work in the fights. What a beast. To be fair, it's a pretty easy Witch Doctor game. You've got 4 heroes that can initiate and set you up and beat frontline tanks. You've managed to farm a Shadowblade Aghs. This might be the richest I've ever seen Pylite Dai. He's out farming AUI 2000. I mean, how often do you say that about Pylite Dai? I'm guessing it's less than 10% of the games that these two have played as support partners.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Still, you just go back to that fight top earlier when they had the 20k gold lead and say, what if their positioning was a bit better? What if the Dragon Knight was sitting farther back, they only had Silent out in front with the Aegis? What if Silent didn't overextend, dive to the enemy tier 4s practically, then die once and come back and not have his ult? What if they had relocated out? So many things they could have done a bit better, and that might have turned this. Still, Empire a decent late game lineup. They have a lot of magic damage, a lot of physical, good pick-off potential around the map. They have the map control. They have the split push, but it just seems like this game keeps on coming down to team fights, and that's not really their lineup's forte. That's where Cloud9 excel. So for those wondering, guys, we do have 3 more games headed your way after this one. The next will be Navi versus VP Polar. And we've got Secret versus KPG. And to round things off, we get Cloud9 again as they take on Navi. After that, Cloud9 will be down to 2 matches. They have the KPG game and they've got the M5 game. M5 looking pretty battered today. MKB is completed on Silent. Also sitting on another 2.9k gold. He's not even bothering to deliver it. I think it'll come out now. Could get his Boots of Travel. Might even be the type of situation where you think about replacing your BKB. It's down to 5 seconds soon. I don't think you do it yet. Maybe you just go for the refresher for the double BKB. Maybe you go for buy the second Necrobook so you can Necrobook, refresh, then Necrobook again on the other one. I mean, that's like super cheesy late game Dota, but I think C9 can just live through that anyway. They've got a lot of heals, they're all tanky. And the books just aren't that scary anymore. The other option is to transition into more of a pure right-clicker. Go for an Abyssal Blade. Get your Dragon Knight up into Daedalus territory. Still, no matter how tanky these heroes get, they're always up against the Aghanim Scepter of Eternal Envy. And C9 look for wave clear here. They send in an Astral Spirit. Resolution now will back off, and what once was a massive lead is now zilch. Roshan not responding for at least 2-3 minutes here. Cloud9 still happily turtling inside their base, not wanting to take any unnecessary risks. It's actually going to be a 4-minute Rosh respawn. This game hangs on a knife's edge. If this goes too late, though, like, Fada can get an... looking at Cloud9's item progression, they have a ton of room to grow. Fada can get an Abyssal Blade, your Centaur can just get ultra tanky. Pylai Dai could even build towards some luxury items for his Witch Doctor. Perhaps we see, like, him getting the Aghanim... or the... Actually, they already have an AC. So I guess he just gets some HP items. Maybe a Hex for late game. Maybe a Refresher, just to ensure that that Witch Doctor ult's always ready to rock and rumble. And the big one, of course, is Eternal Envy, who works towards the Shiva's Guard, can get a refresher of his own late game.
Double damage.
Not even sure the Lycan will be able to take the man fights if this goes on too much longer, but this could be it. Silent with a double damage rune, he's going to walk right into the entirety of Cloud9, who dropped an Observer Ward. They go for the stomp, but Silent BKBs first. Now he transforms. Here comes Super Wolf. Everybody's got to run the hell away now. That's one fast Wolf charging in, looking for pickoffs. They didn't actually find any with him. It was on the other side of the fight where they brought down the AUI 2000 Elder Titan. Bone 7 with the 2-hero stomp. It's a good one, but Resolution turns, actually I think it was 3, and absolutely crushes him. Now the triple buyback from Cloud9. If they don't get anything off of this, then Empire may have just given themselves a second time, or maybe a third timing window, I guess, at this point, is what we're looking at. Roche will be up in 2. So they're going to finish off Roche, and remember, in the latest patch, the buyback cooldowns went from 6 minutes to 7 minutes. So now we're looking at 4.5 minutes after they get the Roche, assuming they do, which they probably should, where Cloud9 will be lacking buybacks on every single hero. Well, actually, all of Cloud9's heroes are important, but 2 of their cores and their Elder Titan, who's a significant source of their damage output. Empire may have just given themselves a fresh shot in this game. All of it happened because Lycan got off his BKB that fight. So while that was happening, they lost their Elder Titan. I believe he was over here, got picked off by the Scarth Mage. And they couldn't bring him down. Silent was too durable. Speaking of late game item progression, perhaps we see Yoki get that vaunted Ethereal Blade on the Ogre Magi. At which point he, with the Scarth Mage, can kill almost anyone. And I think Cloud9 are fearing this next Roche respawn. They're going to smoke, and they'll walk right towards the pit. You can check the Radiant Vision and see they got no eyeballs on the map. They're going in blind. If they can kill the Lycan, it would be big, though. Silent, no buyback. He gets stomped right as he walks through the tree line. They're going to follow this up with a Necrophos ult, and boom, shaka-laka. As Eternal Envy makes that an easy kill. But, sadly for them, no Roche for a minute. If they walk to check this right now, they're going to be like, oh crap, Roche isn't up. They're actually about to send a Spirit in from AUI. 30 seconds. If they go for this Roche, they're going to be so incredibly sad when they find out just what the timing was. Always want to fly grabbing a bounty rune. They're circling around near the Dire Secret Shop. But nobody's here. 100 seconds on the sidelines for the Lycan. I mean, maybe they want to try to push high ground. I don't know, though. There's still a Dire Glyph. He is dead for 90 seconds with no buyback potential. They might be able to do it. Still, there's a push in from Resolution. And he's going to get stomped here. They'll try and stall with AO 2000. Now they're bringing in the backup. Or Splitter coming through. Resolution losing about half his health to that. Now BKB Shadowblade and retreating. At the same time, Boat 7 multicasted and caught out. As they silence him to follow this up, a secondary stun is available. Mystic Flare was used, but not enough to get the kill. Resolution and Solo still on the run. Necrophos ult. Say goodbye to your Resolution. He's dead for 115. Eternal Envy with zero mercy. As it will be Solo also dropping. The Wisp bites the dust. 4 heroes dead. C9 outmaneuvering a lineup with a Wisp and a Lycan. Now have 40 seconds with no Lycan on the board. 100 with no Dragon Knight. Still the Brew split online. The Necrophos ult that will cool down around the time the Lycan respawns. 12 seconds after him, to be precise. And looking to just carve the Empire base up wide open. They'll charge up. Fada in the front. The Bash Lords are here. They're clubbing. 4 tanks in the front lines. Bringing down the tier 3. Working on the melee and the range together as a tandem. Cloud9, 2 pairs. Just wiping this mid-lane out. And they can go top. There's no tier 2 there. Cloud9 won't get megas, but they'll come pretty damn close. And still after this falls, they'll have another 30 seconds to do what they want. They can push in the bottom lane, get close to a tier 2. Remember that they triple bought back this game, and it looked like Empire was going to get a free Roche. That could have been an Empire window. Remember that Empire once led by 20k gold. They now barely have a lead at all. Cloud9 has just flat out outplayed them here in the mid game. And they now have 2 racks. Buyback status for the Radiant. Still 3 minutes with no buybacks. They have to be careful about retreating. But with no Dragon Knight, it's really not like Empire can go in. So they get nothing. They don't split push. They don't base trade. They don't punish these buybacks. They'll go back in on Cloud9 onto Yoki. Eternal Envy has his ultimate ready. That's another hero just deleted from the game. 100 seconds with no Ogre this time. Still the Dragon Knights. That sounds going to BKB and charge him, but he's walking into an Earth Splitter, and that will slow him down quite a bit. There's no Ags yet, so he can still auto-attack during that, but it doesn't really matter. BKB is now down. Cloud9 keep on pushing in. No Ogre. No Lycan ultimate. This might be the GG. No, they're going to play it safe. Eternal Envy was stressing out a bit in the pregame lobby, and I mentioned the Brewmaster Abyssal. There you go. Abyssal online. We'll have double Refresher, double Abyssal, double BKB, double Split as his next pickup. Still a little while to go on that. No items towards it now, but it shows you the confidence of Cloud9 that they're not going to bother saving for buyback. And with that, I think you probably want to give this one to Fada, because Eternal Envy will have his buyback already. Now engage here from Empire, although Cloud9 are backing off against this Roshan. No, they're going to stick around. Alright. So yeah, considering Fada's nowhere near buyback, maybe you give him the edge. No, they're not going to bother. They just decide he can't die this game. The late game Aghanim's Necrolite. Winning games. That's some game-winning plays there by Eternal Envy. This looks like it might be it. Sorry, Empire fans. I think you're about to lose some Arcanas. Bottom lane will push in. Cloud9 most likely at this point want to wait for their buybacks. They're a minute off. Perhaps they even farm the ones that they don't have. 1,300 to go on the Brew. 700 to go on the Elder Titan. If they want to wait that long, then they would have a triple buyback. Actually, sorry, a 5 hero buybacks. Eternal Envy buying his Hex still having his. Plus Aegis. Plus Cheese on the Centaur. That would give them, what is that? 5 buybacks plus 2 extra lives from the Aegis Cheese. That's 12 lives, including the 5 base ones. And they have the ability to take away second lives and second chances from Empire, thanks to Necrolite. So that may put them at an 8 to 9 life advantage in the next fight if they get one Aghanim's ultimate off. That's basically unwinnable for Empire. And I honestly don't even know if the Lycan can kill a hero this game. He goes in with his BKB, and Necrophos just ults him. Just for that stun damage, the 1.5 second stun is enough to take him out of the fight. This Lycan just, by the time he actually gets on the hero, it's already too late. It's like he needs to be relocated directly on top of someone, but with no Abyssal Blade, he can't really stay on those targets, and the Wisp is just collateral damage at this point. Solo dies to a rustling of the wind. 53 minutes in. Empire have to look back at this and just wonder what could have been. Still not 100% out, but they are damn close. The other thing Cloud9 also have on top of the 7+ life advantage going their way in a few minutes is they also have Glyph. And their throne is not close to being exposed. Still tier 4 standing as well. Empire do have the Wisp. They do have the Lycan. Never underestimate a base racing wolf. But they'll have to break down a tier 3. They'll have to push onto the tier 4s. And I think if you're Cloud9, you're very careful about keeping all the lanes in. Don't let that Wisp Lycan get to the base. And they'll begin their siege of the bottom lane, looking for their final outer tower. Now only 3 towers left standing for Empire. The map grows claustrophobic for them. The tier 3 bottom, the tier 4's mid. Not much left. It's like when you're moving out before you actually leave. You just don't have anything in the house. You feel really lonely. You cry yourself to sleep at night, eat ramen. Sad times. Here comes Resolution now. He's got his Shadow Blade online. He's going to start this off with a jump on Eternal Envy, but that's the Aegis carrier. And he'll just blink to the south. That was a BKB and a Dragon Knight ultimate forced out. And now they're going to re-engage. They charge back in onto Yoki. There's your Hex. If he can get off one good Necrolite ult, that might just be the game. Fada blinking and an Elder Titan Stomp. Caught out 3. Now they Brew Split and they continue to chase. There's your Earth Splitter follow-up. Eternal Envy just tanking everything while AUI 2000 does all the work on the backlines. They did lose their Witch Doctor to the Wolf, but more importantly, look for that Necrolite ultimate. Eternal Envy finds the kill in the Scarlet Mage. Not the most important hero to bring down, but hey, it's somebody out of the game for quite a while. 100 seconds, frantically trying to creep skip is Silent. He'll cancel his BOTs. Maybe they got canceled. And I think you just go for the GG now. Empire, this one slips away from them as Cloud9. Frankly, a game they should not have won. They were outplayed thoroughly. Empire pushed high ground with the 20k gold lead, Aegis advantage. But Cloud9 just had the better team fight. Empire got a little sloppy with their positioning, and Word did in the end draft a very good base defense lineup and played it right. Bone 7 started with a great Centaur Stomp. The backline heroes that were trying to relocate out and keep alive that Dragonite were unable to do so because of the Elder Titan Stomp, and they flat out executed them. Pistol Blade used on Silent while they work on this throw, and Yoki dropping low. Bone 7 going to run him down. Cloud9 just kind of parading in circles around the Empire base. Still nobody falling. Thought a low and will get munched by Silent, but to what avail? Now he's stomped. Now he's dead. Buyback comes through. It just won't matter. Cloud9 will cave in. The final lane of Braxis creeps do their bidding on the tier 4s. And Empire, it's now officially Defense of the Ancient. But they've got few tools left. As Eternal Enemy looks for yet another pickoff with his Aghanim's Reaper Scythe. They get Vision with the Elder Titan Astral Spirit. They go in with Bone 7's Double Edge. Witch Doctor ult, zoning Empire, driving them out of their base. They can't even sit in the fountain very safely. And the GGs will come momentarily. Cloud9 with this win will notch a 6th victory to their belt. Only 2 losses, I believe, for them. Still in pole position here to move into the playoffs and have a shot at finishing top 2, if not first place. Cloud9 may die on the way out still. You're fighting through a lot of buybacks. The only buyback that was used was the Brew one earlier. And he's absolutely fine. So they're up against Mega Creeps as, yeah, Creeps come marching in. Your Empire now, you're all tears. Nothing but tears now for Empire. They're going to relocate back to the well. Desperately trying to keep the dream alive. I mean, I think this is the part of the cast where you just zoom out and watch their base, man. I'll let you guys know if anything else happens. They're not going anywhere, I can tell you that. I believe with the loss here, Empire just flat out eliminated from the playoff contention. This will be a 5-6 finish for them. Tinker are 6-5. At the same time, though, let's see. The Cloud9 have the tiebreaker with them. Just gonna do a quick little alt tab here. The camera sinks slowly back towards the earth. Get back up there, camera. Let's see. Tinker and Cloud9. Tinker lost to Cloud9, so I think with this win, Cloud9, yeah, they've got 6 wins. Tinker, if it comes to a 2-way tie between these two teams, are eliminated. I think the dream's just flat out dead. Haven't done all the scenarios, but yeah, now they'll lose solo. Silent gets Abyssal. Right click by the Brewer. You can't really kill him. He is a bit stronger for now, but that BKB is going to wear off, and still, they just duke it out, and Creeps do their bidding. GG. A victory that perhaps never should have been, but was. Cloud9 take this one. They were really falling apart in the mid-game there, but credit to Empire in the end, or to Cloud9 in the end. They just outplayed Empire in several crucial pushes. Guys, with that victory, it was a long one. I don't think we have any long break here. It's going to be Na'Vi versus VP Polar next. Na'Vi already have punched their ticket to the playoffs, just fighting for seeding and positioning there. VP Polar are in the mix, 5-4 with a win here. Could finish 7-4 and potentially force out some of these other teams. They're still in the running, but with a loss, VP Polar would be on the ropes. So with that said, guys, I'm LD of Beyond the Summit. You can follow me on Twitter at LDDota. I will have a partner for this next game coming up. Zari will be joining me, and I don't have to listen to me ramble on to myself. But yeah, Cloud9 versus Empire in the books. Stay tuned. Na'Vi versus VP Polar coming up next.
You got spare game codes or any